Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to stick around for this. I took some leftover king cake and made bread pudding. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Some king cake that has gone uneaten for about a week now and is all dried up. Nobody wants to touch it. So I said, you know what? I think I can turn this thing into bread pudding. So I got out my cutting board, laid it down, and I cut this thing into cubes. And I tried to leave the edges of the king cake intact. I'm going to show you here. I left this one big piece just to show you. All the pieces I cut, I tried to make sure it had an edge so that it stayed intact, which helps it hold together. Off to the side, I've got 6 eggs. I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar to this. Normally, I would add more sugar than this for bread pudding, but there's already a lot of sugar in the king cake, so 1 cup will do. I like to mix the sugar into the egg so that it can just blend evenly. Next, I add 1 12-ounce can of condensed milk, which is awfully stuck in there, so I had to scoop that in. I mix that in real well, and then after that, I go ahead and add 1 14-ounce can of evaporated milk. Then, an entire quart of heavy cream. Hey, boy. You need to back it up. You're getting a little too close. Get back. Sit. Now stay there, okay? So in my traditional bread pudding, I'll add cinnamon and nutmeg and vanilla extract, but the king cake already has a lot of those flavors, so I don't need to do that here. Once I've got this blended up, I go ahead and pour this over the king cake in individual areas very slowly. I want this to kind of touch everything so that the king cake can soak up all this goodness. Once we've got all that poured in, I'm going to go ahead and let this sit covered for about 30 minutes before I pop it into the oven. At this point, I went ahead and preheated my oven to 300 degrees. After 30 minutes, I popped the bread pudding in the oven and I cooked this bad boy for an hour and a half. At least for the first cook. You want to do the first cook 1 hour and a half covered. 1 hour and 30 minutes later, I take the foil off the top of this bread pudding. Woo! Looking good. But now we kind of need to let the top brown up a little bit and let some of the moisture cook out. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this for an additional 30 minutes for now, just to check on it and see where I'm at. 30 minutes later, let me tell you, man, this thing is looking good and smelling amazing. But I knew I wanted to go a little bit longer, so I decided to go another 30 minutes. And after that 30-minute time slot, it looked like things were browning up right where I wanted them. Whew, man. Amazing. So I took this bad boy out and I let it sit for about 15 minutes before I cut into it. And then it was time to slice. And my mouth was watering. Just look at this right here. Oh, man. All them layers of flavor in there. And all the little colors are in there, man. It really looks awesome. I could not wait. That's it right there. And we're going to take a bite. I tell you what, it smells amazing. It smells just like traditional bread pudding. But we'll see, right? Ooh, see that top layer has this nice kind of crunch to it, which I like. Ooh, sorry, I don't mean to make those sounds. And it's kind of jiggly, you know. Oh my gosh. Got the frisons. Oh man, that is really good. And look, I didn't put no sauce on top of this, but you could. You could make like a little king cake glaze and do some sprinkles and whatnot. Go the extra mile, I guess, but there is a lot of sugar in here. It's not like you need any more, but when it's warm like this with some ice cream, oh, so good. Oh man. That is amazing. I'm telling you, I've had some bread pudding in my day, and this might be one of the best ones I've ever done or even had. Right there. Woo. I'm telling you, you got to do this. Well, that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. I've made some bread pudding with some leftover king cake. And if you're like me, this is a great thing to do with your leftover king cake because it happens, man. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many times we've gotten a king cake, we didn't eat every bit of it, or we just ate a couple of slices and we're like, oh man, we forgot to dive into this and it kind of went bad. I say went bad, more like stale, which is how good bread pudding is made. So if you run into this problem, make you some bread pudding. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. Bye-ya!
Don't mean that much to me, 'cause I got higher definition in my reality.